Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mind of a Gentleman, and tonight, for the first time in 3 years, we're going back to the land of Westeros as I review the first ever episode of House of the Dragon. The episode starts with the Great Council of 101, where King Jaehaerys I is deciding on a male heir to the Iron Throne. It then jumps forward 9 years, and we see that King Viserys has become king on the Iron Throne and has an oldest daughter, Rhaenyra. I think that the best part of this series so far is that we get to see more of the royal family, the Targaryens, and more importantly, we get to see more of their dragons. And the dragons were basically their power base. Because they had dragons, nobody dared to defy them, which made them the ultimate power in the country. And with his counselors, we also see a man named Corlys Velaryon. He's the king's master of ships, which is basically the head of the Royal Navy almost. And he's obviously a man who does not mess around when it comes to getting the important business out of the way. We see him talk about someone called the Crab Feeder, who is a head of an alliance in the free city of Braavos near Westeros. And I think this man will become much more important later. And we see the king's brother, Daemon. He's basically the commander of the City Watch. Now, the City Watch is basically the police of King's Landing, I guess you could say. They round up all the criminals and thieves in the city. And what Daemon does is, before the tournaments celebrating the birth of the king's son, we see like a vicious crackdown of all the criminals in the city, and it's absolutely brutal. People are getting beaten up all over the place, and with this, we basically see Daemon's ruthlessness. We see that he's really ruthless and callous. He delights in battle and spectacle. But there's also a soft side to the man, because later we see him with his lover, and she says that the king can never replace you, and he just sits there and lets her hold him. So you can see that there's obviously a soft spot there, but the part where Daemon really shines, in my opinion, is during the tournament, because his fighting skill is absolutely incredible. But unfortunately, while this is going on, the king's wife, Aemma, is giving birth, and it's not going very well for her. The baby is in breach, and the maester tells him that there is a technique to save the baby, and it involves cutting directly into the womb. But his wife could die and lose the baby at the same time, so Viserys basically has to choose between his wife or the baby. And I have to say, watching her her getting cut open was like extremely heartbreaking for me because I could understand how Viserys felt in that moment. You could tell that he truly loved her, but you could tell that he was distraught by all of it. But Damon's fighting skill is absolutely incredible for me. You can see that he's so good at jousting, but even when he lost, he still got back up him and wanted to keep fighting. And who he was fighting was a man named Kristen Cole. The man, after he got knocked off his horse, he basically pushes the squire away like, get away from me, I can still do this. Which shows that he's very determined to prove himself. But after the king's son dies, he's in a brothel with his friends in the Night's Watch. But Otto Hightower, the king's hand at the time, he tells him that he allegedly toasted his dead son Balon, calling him the heir for the day. And Viserys is not happy about this. He sends him back to Runestone in the Vale to a wife that he absolutely hates with a passion. And then he calls Rhaenyra back to him, and he tells him something very interesting. He tells her about a dream that Aegon the Conqueror had before he conquered the Seven Kingdoms, which was that he saw a threat in the north that could end the world. And what he basically saw were the White Walkers. Now, my issue with this really is that it completely, to me at least, it kind of goes up against the established lore because we don't really know why Aegon conquered the kingdoms except perhaps to bring stability to the realm. And then at the end of the episode, we see all the lords paramount of the different regions, like the North, the Vale, the Stormlands. They all swear fealty to Rhaenyra as the next heir to the throne. And that's how the episode ends. So I really, really enjoyed the show. It was way, way better than the last season of Game of Thrones because of how that ended. So I'd rather just erase that from my mind. But ladies and gentlemen, and a quick shout out to Paints Like a Girl, who gave me this great dragon egg right here. So shout out to her. But ladies and gentlemen, this ends this review of the first episode of House of the Dragon. And you can definitely expect videos on all the episodes that'll be coming next. Until then, cheerio.